So we're talking about letting the child choose and have a say over their own behavior. When do I let them do that? Because I'm the coach and I've got to do all the work, right?
Yes, right. My career and my life got much easier when I was dumb enough to let a group of kids talk me into taking control. And I think I was a better coach after that. And it was so much more fun. So here's the thing. I grew up thinking that the coach is in charge. The coach has all the answers. The coach runs the show, and you just listen to me. It's my own little autocracy, or whatever you want to call it. And it's just not the case. There were, over the years, there were opportunities where I allowed kids to have a little bit more say in the process and everything like that. And I was seeking feedback like you're supposed to. But about a decade ago, a little bit more than a decade now, about a decade ago, I had a team where the kids said, we want more power. And I said, do you want power, or do you just want influence over your own? They were 12 years old, very intelligent, these are kids like I just got out of the way. Some of them are national team, potentials, and they're playing D1 college. I mean, these are great athletes. So it was, for me, it was just, I knew it when I took this team. I'm just getting out of the way and letting these kids do it. And the first thing they wanted me to do as far as getting out of the way was they wanted control. So we started with, okay, there were training sessions where I'd show up and say, do you want to do A, B, or C? And they would choose, and we would go. So I had a game plan in place. We'd get to the end of a training session. I'd say, do you want to play this game, or do you want to do this? And they get to pick. And then it became halftime. Whoever I chose that day to be our captains, because it was each game it rotated. I wanted every kid to have that kind of leadership development. I'd come over and say, captains, you have 2 minutes with the team. I want you to talk about what you really liked about the first half. So in other words, what went well and what you'd like to do in the second half. It wasn't what went bad. It's what can we do? Because we got to solve the problem. I'll be back. And I'd go and write down on my list, and they'd have theirs. And then it became, Monday's your practice. I need you guys to tell me what we're doing on Monday. What is it that you saw in the game this week and that you want to work on, and I'll help design it for you. And I gave the reins away a little bit more and more and more, to the point where they were empowered to own their own learning, to own their environment. They embraced it. Like, this wasn't like they didn't take it lightly, and they didn't waste the opportunity. They embraced the opportunity. They studied, they did their homework, they came up with great ideas. And what I discovered was that I was just there to help guide them. I was there sometimes to have answers, sometimes to guide them to answers, sometimes to provide these opportunities for them to solve situations. But they grew exponentially as people on the field and off the field when they had that kind of empowerment. And so as a coach, it's when do you let them have the say? From day one, they should have a say. This is their sporting experience, not ours. This is their life, their life skills, their values, their behaviors that they're developing that'll help them succeed in life. So they have to have the ownership, and they'll stay longer and love it and enjoy it longer if they do feel like there is some control, if it's intrinsic versus an extrinsic situation.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, for the little ones, real easy, especially in the tool cards, give them choices. Do you want to do A or B? Because what you've done is you've managed the situation so that we're not getting crazy things like, oh, we want to ride unicorns into the game and the unicorns are throwing Skittles at everybody. I've had that. No, like they get a choice, A or B. And then as you go from there, you just give them a little bit more. Or is it, even just stuff like your choice on the final game, and you open it up to where the game has to be linked to what our topic was, but what's our final game tonight? Things like that. So you just continue to give them and the best way to empower them, ask questions. They think they're fully empowered and in control when you stop telling them and ask them. And believe me, just doing that gives them a say. What'd you think of practice? What would you like to do next? Did that work for you? How did that feel when you did it? What would you do in this situation to solve that problem? Freeze, take a look. What do you see? How can we solve this? Right there, you've given them a say.
To me, I was like, what? How can we solve it?
Oh, sorry.
I was even engaged there, and I wasn't even doing anything.
I can't help it.
How we can use our language to create those connections, isn't it? And how we can turn, I want to ride unicorns around whilst I'm drinking soda pop, into, hey, this is my game plan, and that's what's going to work. In the same child, in the same season, by allowing them to have that control and that ownership, and using our words to empower them. It's crazy.
I'll tell you. I'll give you a quick follow-up story real fast. So I had that team. and a group of boys, and they had one of them had a younger sister on a younger team. So I had this group of under 8-year-olds, and they said, "Coach, by the end of the season, I took over this girls team, and they said, Coach, we want to see you try it with the girls team." And I went, "Okay, they're 8, and they're closer to recreation grassroots than you guys, because you guys are a little bit more. But let's give it a try, right? Because here I am being closed-minded about it. So I gave it a try." So we did that with these girls, and we spent the next season, we spent empowering these 8-year-olds. They were running their half times and like that. And dad comes to me one day and says, "What'd you do to my daughter?" I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "She's got me getting up." So this is back in the East Coast, so closer to your time zone. "She's got me getting up at 5 a.m. to watch English Premier League games because she needs to study for the weekend's games in case she gets called at halftime." He's like, "My kid's studying the game and she's 7 years old." It works.
Wow. And they'll see that follow through into their educational life as well, and their family life, but not just what's going on the pitch.
Yes, most definitely.